boy. So we have maximized a full day yesterday just living around this new area. New area. You know, I had a moment of weakness, quote unquote, because I was thinking that I needed to go back home, but I live here now, so I don't really have to pack up and go. But usually around this time, I would start packing up and heading out back to New York and back to the city. But now I don't even have to do that anymore because I live here now. Now I just need to find some damn employment. And I have been looking at some employment stuff. Just been looking at customer service stuff. Just part-time, nothing crazy. And just go from there. Just gotta live through this. Because I know shit ain't easy. And I'm doing my best to just prioritize myself more. Doing my best to just keep my room organized and not too intense. Because I have my own room now. I gotta look after it. I gotta eventually, at some point this week, start cleaning. Do some sweeping and vacuuming if I have to. Because I gotta keep my room tidy. And even if it's not my house fully, and I have to still follow some rules, I mean, the rules aren't that extreme nowadays. Just need to get a damn job, need to keep my room tidy, be careful with how much I'm using the water because you live in a house, you get paid for water. Like I was talking about last video when it came to me leaving New York, like I have to keep my water usage to a T. It's really difficult sometimes, especially since I like taking long showers, but now I have to minimize that because I can't take long showers anymore. If I learned to live in an apartment, I wouldn't be able to take long showers because the water bill isn't using the bills and stuff to the advantage of just the person itself, but it is taking advantage of us in general because we live in a house and we own the house, quote unquote. If you own a house, that means every single utility bill is against you, which means the water is against you. I mean, yeah, electricity is still gonna be a part of everybody regardless, but it's the things like water, things like certain lights, it's all against you. Like there's no winning. Like if at least when you live in an apartment, water is not gonna be used against you, and certain bills that you would need to pay when you live in a house or you own a house, that's at least not against you. So maybe that comes at a particular cost, and it's crazy. Maybe, I don't know. I do want to live around nature more. I do want a backyard at some point. I do want to experience a backyard. I mean, my dad's backyard is pretty cooked. There's so many cars there, and there are people working every other few days on like cars and stuff in his backyard. So I can't really fully use that. I can't use it to my advantage. I really do though. I wish I could, but I can't. And it is what it is. So for the meantime, I got this nature. This is what I love about my dad's area. The amount of nature that's here is freaking immaculate. I am going to be enjoying the best times of my life on my off days when I start working here. I'm gonna be here so much. Maybe aside from Thursday, mostly because it's gonna be 103 degrees. And if I was to be 103 degrees, I wanna go to a pool or something, but I don't know the nearest pool. Nah, I don't know the nearest pool. But I'm hanging in there. I'm mad chill right now. Feeling pretty good. I feel pretty good even landing a job eventually at some point. Gotta be pretty soon. However, I feel pretty good just allowing myself to get used to this environment and get used to this space. I'm far away from #that space. I'm far away from those weirdos. One thing that I do want to talk about throughout this video that's very important to me, and that I brought up last video, is that there are people that are supposedly close to you, right? You know, the general consensus is to always protect each other and to remind them that to always stay safe out here. But some people go mad extreme, or they just go mad intense, and they're just like, oh, just because you're moving out or whatever the case is, it doesn't mean that you cut us off or whatever. That kind of bothers me. And it's not even because they said it, or it's because the way it's initiated. It's the tonality of it. It's like you're obligated to keep the relationship afloat. And it's like, you don't just say that. You don't just say that to me. You don't just say that to... Maybe it's because it's me. Maybe you have to say that. But it's still weird. You know? It's like, there's a certain aim. And there's a certain target that I feel that's predestined. Maybe that's the word. Maybe that's how you say it. Predestined to just target me. It's weird. Yo, I attract way too many weird people in my life. And not the good type of weird at times. Because why are you saying this straight up to me? Bro, you want to square up? No, for real. Because it'll get to a certain point. Like, you guys are mad lucky. You guys are not my... You guys are mad lucky we're blood related. Or even if we're not completely blood related, we're still a part of a family. But you can't be saying that to me. You can't be acting as if, oh, you can't just cut me off. I'm not obligated to keep you around if I don't have to. This is a general consensus. Just because we grew up together, it doesn't mean I have to keep you around forever. And especially if you guys treat me bad, which you guys haven't in full totality, but if you're gonna bring up this phenomenon in this type of sense, if this is how you're gonna tell me and use that tone, it's not like you were rude or anything. It felt like you were more worried, quote unquote. But that type of paranoia, you can't be saying that to me. It's weird. It's almost as if you're asking or you're begging of me to stay around or stick around. It's like, you don't, at that point, I might as well not stick around. Because you have that much paranoia without me, or you have that much paranoia of me prioritizing myself for once, then I need to leave. I need to actually leave. I can't stay here. Because that type of energy, you can't be expressing that to me. Or you have that specific energy only to me because there's a specific part of you that's really intimidated by my energy. And it's awkward because you guys are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be very supportive. It shouldn't be a duty for you to be supportive. It shouldn't be some type of transaction for you to support me. You guys birthed me into this world because you guys want to see the future generation be thriving. You don't want to see them in the same positions you were with having limited access to certain things, having less access to mental health stuff, less access to just being able to do certain things. Yet you're up here just begging of me to just stick around, begging of me to keep contact. I don't think that's how it works. That shouldn't be the case. Because you birthed me into this world so I can explore and have a better life, right? Isn't that the case? Don't you want better for me? I, of course, need to be somebody that also looks after you too. However, you don't do it in this fashion. You don't do it in a way that, oh, I'm somehow now supposed to force myself, and you frame this as I have to force myself to, and I'm obligated. Bro, there is no obligations to love, man. Bro, if you love somebody that much, you do it. No obligations, no limitations needed. But the way you frame it, it's like I don't need to give you anything now. Now I don't want to give you nothing because you're forcing me and you're commanding me to do something that I should know damn well. But you're now expressing and you're forcing upon me. So now I'm just second guessing if I should even do it now. It's mad weird. My own parents, by the way. It's something about my parents that it's slowly and steadily it's exposing something to me. And I don't know what it is. It's not that they're completely horrible people. They're just weird. I don't know what it is. I can't hang around them for too long, or they're expressing me certain things when we're talking in depth or we're talking intense, and they're just exposing parts of themselves that they've never really exposed to me, or they have, but is now fully encompassing or fully making its turn. I'm saying and talking about all this, and there's immaculate views behind me. And there's turtles right there too. There were some ducks that we passed by as well. You see, right? Yeah, the water's pretty dirty in certain cases, in certain areas, but some of these views are just mad beautiful. So I'm gonna stick around here. So, nature trails at North Hudson Park, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna be here a lot. Maybe I'll give you daily content if I'm here daily. Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to just chill out and just be able to explore for myself. I did that yesterday to a T. But if I don't post, it's because I'm either at home or I just need time for myself. Or I'm just busy. That busy. But either way, whenever I'm available, especially for the meantime, I'll be here on the regular. But if I'm busy, really busy, if I'm doing other stuff, then videos will be every now and then. But again, I don't know my schedule fully. But I just don't like that my parents are giving me this energy, and it just sounds way off to me. I sound very schizophrenic. I sound crazy just even saying this, but I just don't like it. Because it's not just the tonality, it's the intention, it's the compass aspect, the moral compass aspect. It's like I'm forcing myself to have to keep up, keep in contact. Like, I don't have to. I don't have to keep full contact. I don't have to keep consistent contact. I don't owe you guys that much to the point where I have to force myself to maintain the relationship. Not because I don't want to, but because I have a choice to whether how many times I can talk to you a day, how many times I can keep in touch with you on a regular basis. But some of these people just be mad weird now. Some of these people just want to force you to just stay in touch because, oh, you're just family. Like, that's how it works, bro. That's not how love works. Love doesn't work just by you telling me, oh, you have to do this. Like, nobody has to do anything for you. You don't have to do anything for me. You choose to because you love me that much. Oh, you get, like, the way you express it to me, the reason why I give you food when you upset, because you love me. Oh, so now the moment that I decide to start touching for myself, now that weird energy comes back. Now it becomes more weirder and awkward. Oh, man. It's the way people treat people that are different from the general public. It's the way people perceive people that are different from them in a general hindsight. It just starts... It's like they know that I'm autistic, but they have to treat me a certain way or else they explode. It's like they have to force themselves to be a certain way to me or else they explode. They can't be fully themselves. It's weird. It's like they force themselves to having to contort themselves very differently, but they have to also put up an image. I attract way too many weird people for this, bro. Maybe it's a me thing too. It could be. It could be. I'm not ruling that out. It could be a me thing. I could be weird in my own sense. And I am. However, am I weird to that point where now I'm attracting people that are so insecure about themselves, or they hide themselves very well to the point where now they just want something out of me, but they can't really get much access, so they just pretend to either be intimidated of me, they force certain beliefs onto me, or they just start having certain talks and they expose themselves for what they truly are. For example, that guy exposing himself as full of himself loser when he was raging about Catholics, or one of the grown men, grown leaders, exposing himself as a transphobe in a car ride, even though I couldn't fully out him on that. But he thinks because I'm listening and doing my own thing, he thinks that I'm not fully taking in what I'm saying. What he's saying, I mean. My bad. He thinks he can get away with it. You're not. You're not getting away with it for long. You are facing it head on when you are facing your darkest days. Everybody has to face parts of their darkest selves. Eventually, one way or another, you're doing the exact same thing. And you have a lot of darkness in you. You want to talk about, oh, I can read if God is in your heart? Nah, I can read way more through you. I can read past that. Take off that superior complexity, Max, buddy. Take it off. You had that for too long. I got away with certain things for too long. Example, that transphobia thing. You expose yourself as that. It is what it is. My stepfather exposed himself as a homophobe. Exposed himself as he's not who he is, bro. He's not who he is. You're a racist too, because in a way you complain about hip hop. Yes, you do. Then why were you trying to tell me to sacrifice it last year? That's racist in a way. There's blatant racism, but it's the fragmented type of racism. It's not the racism that you directly tell these people that you hate hip hop because a certain type of people were making it. You're telling me you tell me to not listen to a certain genre because a certain type of people make it. And there's a certain type of sound and a certain type of way of making it. Like, there's multitude of different hip hops. You don't have to listen to the hip hop that's promoted on mainstream. You don't have to. You tell me not to conform to the world that be. Tell me not to be a part of this world. But you guys are also being more a part of this world than I am in this case, because you guys are so fixated on hip hop. On something that that's not the whole point of hip hop. Hip hop is not fully promoting for you to be a part of the streets. That's just the way you interpret it. That's just the way you fixate on it. That's your fault. That's the way you perceive it. That's your fault. I know some songs and some things are very low vibrational. They do promote degeneracy straight up. But then there's a certain thing where it's not promoting degeneracy, it's not promoting street violence, it's expressing their story. But you just take it and you just generalize and you just act as if every single song in hip hop is just like that. That's stupid. That's racist. It is. Not sorry to say. Be better. I also don't like music discourse in general at times, not because of only the profound miscues and the forced discussions about certain rappers and stuff. But I also hate the fact that the only reason why some people have music discourse or discussions is so that they can hear themselves talk about the music arguments that they're going to provide. They're really obsessed with hearing themselves out, that they have to go out their way and just have certain arguments that, whether they believe it or not, it's not really the premise. They really want to hear themselves talk. They want to hear themselves just speak. They don't want to hear the other side. They don't really care about that. And the moment that somebody tells them, yo, you have a really weird argument, or your argument is really stupid because you could do the exact same thing for your own argument, they're not going to hear it. They're not going to hear it because ultimately, these people are so fragile in ego and pride. That space, for example, some of the music critics in other areas, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's with K-pop, whether it's with rock music, either way, a lot of these people, when they're discussing or having discourse about films even, dude, they're so fragile in ego. Most of the people that initiate the discourse, they have some of the most fragile egos ever. They have some of the most softest prides ever, or even hard-headed prides, but soft in terms of, we can easily get you. We can easily do a gotcha moment right back. But hey guys, it's a little out of place in terms of a specific topic, but there's a general message for real, is that you do not allow certain people, even if they're family, to dictate how you should maintain contact. You maintain contact how you maintain contact. You don't have to talk to these people every day. You don't have to completely cut them off though. However, if some of these people are really telling you, and you feel some type of way, some weird energy when it comes to them telling you, you need to do this for me, you have a valid reason why you feel this way. It's because they're not supposed to be telling you that. You're supposed to be able to initiate that love because you really love them that much. Same with your parents. But them reminding you of why they even provide for you is that they love you. And then also be the same ones also having to tell you and force you to also maintain the relationship. That's also going to be one of the main reasons why you also have to just be on the lookout, because they're going to expose themselves sooner rather than later. It is what it is. It is what it is. It doesn't make me hate them less. It doesn't make me love them less or more, whatever the case is. It's just how it is. My parents are just straight weird. It is what it is. They're weird. They're weird for that. They're weird for the homophobic tirade. They're weird for allowing that leader to just go on a transphobic rant. They're weird for not checking them. They're not going to acknowledge what the issue is. They're just going to be, I want to hear myself speak. I want to hear myself talk. I just want to hear it so I can feel good. I can feel like I did something today. Not because I wanted to do it or I had the initiative to see or want to see somebody else better in a better position. No, it's because I need it for my own benefit. You're soft. You have a fragile ego. You have a cold-hearted heart. That's pathetic. Get better. Another message too, the better you try leveling up and the better you put yourself in a position to thrive, there's going to be a lot of weird people that you attract. And you could consider that. You could be weird yourself. And I am weird. I'm just not the type of weird where I'm making others uncomfortable though. Yesterday, the day before, when I was moving out and they told me that, I felt a certain type of way. I'm like, wait. I had to process that a little bit, and then I got in the car ride, and then we just started talking about something completely different. I was just talking about how I'm gonna get myself together. But again, I find it very weird that I look crazy, schizophrenic, freaking I need to put myself in a mental institution or something. Anytime I talk about this, because most people are so abnormal about other people that are completely different from them and is not following the consistent stereotypes of what a normal person should be or what a normal person should be doing, is that I have to consider and call myself not crazy, or I'm pretty crazy, or I have to consider myself, I'm not schizophrenic. It's like weird, bro. It's a weird paradigm. It's like hardcore training and programming yourself to be a certain way or to think a certain way because they told you to, or they force you to think that way because you have to consider it accordingly. But they never considered you accordingly. They never adjusted you accordingly. They just made fun of you or insulted you one way or another, and they took advantage of you. Bro, look at the discourse of autism right now. They view autism as quirky in some cases. But these people care about you, though. These people supposedly want better for you. Not really. But I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Maybe in some cases I could tell my older brothers this. But I don't want it to be a big deal. It doesn't need to be a big deal. But the problem is that the way some people react and respond, they want to make it such a big deal because they can't handle being actually accountable. It's so crazy to me. And that these are the same people that want to check others for not being, whether for God, whether or not being morally and ethical, but they don't want to be checked themselves either. It's crazy to me. It's freaking wild. But I'm not even shocked. You know why I'm not shocked? It's because that's what I expect. I expect them to be fragile. And this is what I see them at. I see them as very hypocritical. That's why I left in the first place. One of the main reasons why I left the church space is because they're some of the most hypocritical people on the planet. And I don't like how they treat me.
Whorehouse where they know a judge? Yeah.
I didn't like how they treated me over time. I didn't like how they act as holier than thou, consistent basis, but they're also the same ones that also don't really apply the pressure for themselves. Or when they do apply the pressure, they only do it so that they can just subtly flex on me and just tell me, oh look, I did this though. Oh, I didn't do it for the love of the game, I did this. But they indirectly just tell me through their energy that they're empty. They ain't worth nothing. They ain't worth nothing, not because they exist. They ain't worth nothing because that's how they see themselves. That's how they view themselves. They don't view themselves as nothing without this particular achievement. They don't view themselves as nothing without God in this context. They told you straight up. So they are going to minimize you and they're going to try to drag you down either way. That's why I don't like these people. That's why I'll always forever hate them. I'll hate them for entertainment. I'll hate them when I'm genuinely angry. I'll hate them even when I get more successful. There's an interesting way of me expressing. I'm not necessarily preying on your downfall, quote unquote. I don't need to pray on your downfall. I'll be there when you're at your darkest point, and then I'll just be like, well, you guys are the same people that told me to just go to God and just suppress your emotions. You can be like all you want. No, we didn't tell you to suppress your emotions. No, we didn't. We told you that facts are completely feelings. They're not. We didn't say they're not valid. Well, but the way you guys maneuver, but the way you guys teach other people, and the way you guys keep up with this superior complexity and holier than thou type of echelon, this territory thinking that you're above everybody else because you're a Christian. Yeah, you definitely think like that. And you don't have to lie to me. Because you yourself definitely do lie. You want to talk about lying is a sin, but you still do it. Just like you still lust. Most of these people will still be expressing, whether it's to me or other people. I overhear them that they're still struggling with lust. Even to this day, I'm just like, bro, I don't be struggling with lust like that, but they're the same ones telling me to get my heart in check. But they're also the same ones that tell me that my heart's fragile and that it's not, it's deceitful. It's not useful. It's not reliable. I hate you guys so much. I am not going to be there to pray on your downfall. I don't need to pray for your downfall. I'm there already. These guys will also be there too. You guys have faked your personalities. You have faked your energies for too long. It's over for you.